Hey, welcome back to another Sensu Pop deck profile. Today we had for you the Babidi deck. What happened yesterday was that we have the underappreciated leaders tournament, so where only underappreciated leaders are being played. Leaders like Babidi, Vados, Hit, Kula, the 10,000 types of Goku, Gohans, where they don't see play, right? So this is the anti-meta or the non-meta decks. So we really had a great fun. What was surprisingly interesting was that, or totally unexpected, was Yana here, who plays Babidi, came in second in the tourney. That was so good, and she had a really interesting deck profile that so I invited her to share with us today. So Yana, would you like to talk about your deck profile?
Of course. I chose Babidi because he will not be picked by anyone. He's shit, but I felt bad for him, so I picked him. He has one ball only, which his leader's abilities is that you get to have the ball on the playmat, so it's right there all the time. He's only 10k. He has really no ability on his side other than the ball, and if he awakens, he awakens at 6.
Yeah, that was the interesting part. Right?
Yeah, because nobody really informed themselves about awakening, so he awakens at 6, and then he's still 10k, which is still shit. But he gets to put, once per turn, he gets to put a card under the ball, gets to draw a card, and he gets to push 5k onto a battle card. So yeah, that's pretty good as far as it comes to the worst leader, I think, in the whole game. Yeah, so
but your prediction was correct. Nobody was playing Babidi, yeah. Right?
Yeah, but they were thinking about it actually, but they thought he was shit in the end. Okay. So I felt bad for him, and that's Babidi and his ball. The ball has no ability other than you put cards underneath it, and as soon as there are 5 cards underneath it, you get to open it up, and there comes a 10 drop boo out of it, a 20k hitter for free, which is not that amazing to be honest, but that's his ability. So yeah, let's go. Let's put this over here where you can really not see it. And first of all, we have the uninteresting cards. There are, whoops, for Kabas, because I had problems. I really had problems self-awakening, which I want to do because otherwise I cannot put any cards in my ball. So I need cover to self-awaken if the opponent doesn't hit me. So yeah, I run 4, and yeah, it's cover. What else to say, right? Very uninteresting card. Let's leave it here. And then the other uninteresting card is for Vados, negates. Oh my god. Let me put this here. It's just 4 negates, which you need because Babidi has trouble staying alive. Because he's only 10k. It's really troublesome sometimes to get him to stay alive. So super combos and negates are your friend in this deck, because he will die otherwise. He's 10k on the awakened side. He's not very good. So for Vados negates. Then we get to the super combo, which is very good. You definitely need it. It's for Handy Giro. It's just a super combo, so nothing interesting to say about it. You need it. Other than you really need it. You definitely need it. It saved my life, so there are 4 of them. And then the first interesting card in this deck is for, I call them the wrestlers, because they are wrestling. They're definitely wrestlers. So it's attendance Popovic and Yamu. and they're restless. Basically, I run 4 of them, and their ability is when they attack, they get to put 1 card into the ball, which is, you want to get the boo out of the ball, as useless as it sounds. But you wanna do this, get the opponent to 3 life, which is crucial to this deck. Usually they want to self-awaken because, yeah, it's obvious, and they're at 4 life, and you only need to hit them once with this deck. But you need to hit them once, which is already a challenge. But then you definitely want to put 5 cards into the ball, and get the boo out when your opponent is at 4 or 3 life. It's very crucial that you only do it then. It makes sense because we will see it right there. They're 4 restless here. I mean, they're useless apart from when they put a card in the ball, basically. But if Babidi is already awakened, you get to put 2 cards in the ball in 1 turn, which is pretty good. So once the ball is ready, you have this guy, this cutie. He's a 10 drop boo. You will never hard cast him. His only way of coming into play is coming out of the ball, and when he comes out of the ball, he takes away 1 life from your opponent, which is why you want to get your opponent to definitely, the best case is 3, 4 is okay too, but yeah, anyways, it needs a time until you got 5 cards in the ball. It's already sometimes it's very hard and it's a drawn out game, but you need to get this one out when your opponent is at 4 or 3 life, and I run 4 of them. I already had issues because when I run if I had run fewer of them, he would get stuck in my life, or I don't want this guy to have on my hand, because when he comes out of the ball, you search your deck. So you want this guy to be in your deck. He cannot be stuck in your life or in your hand. He's useless then, just free energy. So 4 of them definitely you need, and if you have him out once, that's okay. He's easy energy. So let's put him here next to his wrestler friends. Next up is the devil. Oh, I like this guy. He's good. He's only a 3 drop. Can you see him like this? Yeah. He's a 3 drop devil like this. And when he's in rest mode, when you cast him out and he attacks a card, he's in rest mode, and you cannot attack Babidi when he is on the field in rest mode, which is amazing because Babidi, I told you, he's hard to keep alive. So this is a card that they need to focus on then. And if you manage to keep the devil, as I call him, alive, they will waste 1 turn just taking care of a battle card that's pretty much useless. He's a 20k hitter, which is good, which also helps. But yeah, he keeps you alive, which is crucial. And I ran 4 of them, and it's so nice to have 1 out. If they manage to take him out, then cast the next one in the next turn. It's so satisfying, and yeah, you need them in this deck definitely, because otherwise you're dead.
So it's like a 20k blocker.
Yes. Oh, my cards stick together. Now here's now it gets kind of crowded. Yeah, I'm gonna put this here. There's a black card, Time Patrol Trunks. First, in the first playtest, I ran Jiren, but I never used him because there are too many cards that are near to 4 energy, because 4 drop Jiren. I need the 2 wrestlers, I need the 3 drop devil, so I really never casted out Jiren, so I decided to go with black cards. Can you see this? Because with Overwhelm, you don't need to waste energy, and you always have a lot of cards in your drop area, just 6 cards with the ball, because once you get the boo out, you put the ball and the cards underneath it into the drop area. It's useless after that, but it's already a free black card cost. And Time Patrol Trunks lets you look at the first two cards on the top of your deck and take one onto your hand, which is good if you really are in need of specific cards, which happened to me. With bad luck, you need to search your deck. So there are 4 of them, because why not? Otherwise it's easy energy. Just pump this a bit like this. Then this is a very interesting thing, because you take hopefully you take your opponent out without hitting him, and there's the guy to do this. It's hit. It's the 3-drop hit. You want to cast him out and make him stay alive, which you can easily do, because when it's your opponent's turn, you throw away a red card into the drop area, and he cannot be removed from the battle area. He cannot be KO'd by battle or by skills. So that's amazing. He will stay alive, and you need him to stay alive. Yeah, that's the whole thing about this deck, right? You want the boo out to take one of your opponent's life, and you want hit because there's the next evolution of hit, and there are only 3 cards in this deck, which is the 6-drop hit. But if you evolve him onto the other hit, which you want to do, it's 5 cost evolution, and you take 2 of your opponent's life, which is amazing, because if they're at 3, you already took a life with boo, they're dead, and you didn't even properly hit them, which you really cannot do because it's Babidi. It's also a 25k hitter, so if you have anything, if they are still at 1 life after casting out hit, you still have a high chance of taking the last life. And that's the whole thing about this deck, right? You want to take the life, but without hitting the opponent, because really you cannot do that. I think this is the highest card I got. It's a 25k hitter. It's nothing really. So there are 3 of them here, because you only really need them to evolve. Other than that, I hard casted him once because I was desperate, but other than that, yeah, he's just there to be evolved. Then you have, who's that here? They all look like, oh, this is another card that lets you combo, because when you combo with Vegeta, the card gets played in rest mode, so it helps you to stay alive, and you have another card on the battlefield afterwards, which is always good to just hit your opponent's battle cards and everything. So I run 4 of them, and they're helpful. They're really helpful. And next up we have Saiyan Son Goku. The cards look so much alike that I always kind of mix them up, but he lets you draw a card when you combo with him. So that's something you want to do as well, since you need to stay alive and draw cards. Draw the 6-drop hit, because I had trouble drawing him once, so that helps. And there are 4 of them in here. Next up is the other black card I run. It's the Saiyan, the Mysterious Warrior. And there are 3 of them in here. It's another Overwhelm card. It's just 1 energy. You have to pay. It's a 20k hitter, which is good, and you get to take out battle cards of your opponent where their energy adds up to 5. So that's pretty good, because sometimes you really have problems staying alive if there are too many battle cards on your opponent's battle area. So yeah, obvious reasons. And you always have cards in your drop area. There are always cards in your drop area, I found, with playing Babidi. So it's super easy to cast them out. Like I said, I ran Jiren before, but then I decided to run 2 black cards, and that's that. Last card I run is, oh my god, Miraculous Comeback Ultimate Gohan. Because if you play against an opponent that really controls your hand and makes you drop a lot of cards, this guy gets down to, I think, 2 energy. So you can cast him out at 2 if your card is at 3 or less, I think. He's a 25k hitter, and when he manages to take out a battle card, you do damage to your opponent's life, which is again something that you want to do. And he's a 25k hitter, so if they have anything on their battlefield that you can take out easily, do it. And if you don't manage to do it, it's not too bad, because hey, it's the 25k hitter that they have to deal with the next turn, so that's good anyways. And yeah, I had trouble when my opponent made me drop my cards from my hand, so he was really good. Yeah, and I think I hardcasted him out once because I was desperate too. So there's that. That's the whole profile. That's the Babidi profile, which relies on not hitting, basically. It just relies on taking life with evolving and yeah, with Gohan maybe taking out battle cards if you manage to.
Yeah, it's a really interesting concept, because you don't hit the opponent, right? It's Majin Buu will take his life, hit when you evolve onto it, it takes his life. And the funny thing about hit is that hit doesn't need to hit to take life. And also Miraculous Comeback Ultimate Gohan, which is kind of like interesting that you put it in the deck, because people would think that they can hit your Babidi with a 10k. But,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if they hit your Babidi, if they swing with a 10k, your Gohan will give them so big a problem.
The good thing is, sometimes they have a Kaba on their battlefield, and for some reason, sometimes because I wasn't really concentrated, I just left him there, because if the opponent takes a life, he is I think 15k double hitter. But try to keep Kaba alive against Gohan with 25k. Kaba is only 5k, and if you don't have any gate, yeah, good luck doing that, because that's not fun, wasting cards to keep Kaba alive. So yeah, it's a really cool concept, and I was kind of expecting to get last place, because it's Babidi after all. But I took second place. I only really had trouble against a certain Vados deck. But other than that, who did I battle? I battled against Kula. I think one Goku.
What did Babidi play?
I don't know what he played. Actually.
Yeah.
I don't know, but anyways, I just had troubles with Vados, even though it came close. It's not like it's an easy win with Babidi, right? Like, unless you're really lucky, it's not an easy win, especially if you get to drop cards from your hand. But you can do it. It's not as bad as you think it is. And the leader, I think, is the worst of the worst, actually. I think it doesn't really get worse than that. Just because even if he awakens, he's 10k and he gets to put stuff in his ball. Yeah, so that's the deck.
So congratulations on the second place and your first tourney, actually. And yeah, thanks for sharing with us the deck profile.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Ciao.
Bye bye.